Is there a worse type of sensorimotor OCD? Is swallowing worse than blinking? Is blinking worse than breathing? Or are they actually all equal and just different forms of the same thing? In my experience, having struggled with various different types of sensorimotor OCD, they are all absolutely the same thing. I think it's very, very easy to kind of get caught up in the idea that the one thing that you're struggling with in that moment is the worst possible one, because of course, when you're really struggling with it, it's the only thing that you can think about. And people with sensorimotor OCD, typically we tell ourselves, I just need to get rid of this. If I just get rid of the swallowing, if I just, stop thinking about my breathing, then I am going to feel better. I can move past this. I can get on with the rest of my life and I can be happy again. But until I get rid of it, well, I can't. And, that they start to believe that, their particular issue or particular theme is the trickiest one, and that other ones, well, it doesn't quite make sense that you would get stuck on your blinking or, feeling other body parts or actions. It's this one that is the really, really bad one. And, when I was really stuck on the mouth and swallowing, this was something that I noticed myself. I would be thinking, because previously I'd got stuck on the breath, and I was thinking at that time, well, the breath was nothing compared to this. This is the worst one that I've ever experienced. And, unfortunately, that particular one went on for a long, long time. It didn't need to. It's just that I didn't have the right tools at that time to actually deal with it. And so I was pushing it away. I was trying to get rid of it all the time. I was trying to distract myself from it in a negative way. And all of that was kind of keeping me fixated and stuck on it. And if you're struggling with sensorimotor OCD, I do now have a 12-week program that is specifically designed to help you to break free. It's really built on my own personal experiences of dealing with sensorimotor OCD, as well as having helped now many, many people who struggle with this. If you're interested in finding out more about that and getting a free discovery call with me, you can head over to my website, robertjamescoaching.com. There's a link in the show notes. And now on with the rest of the episode. But to be honest, before I'd experienced that, I'd been stuck with breathing. And at that time, that thing really did feel like the worst thing ever. Because you can potentially always be aware of it. It's very uncomfortable. You have to do it in order to live. All of this fear can kind of get attached to that. But very quickly one day, it just switched and it went over to swallowing. And it stayed there for a kind of long time, but often it does switch in this way. And as I did begin to improve, as I started to learn about acceptance commitment therapy, exposure, self-compassion, and I started to kind of deal with sensorimotor OCD in a more positive way, I started to notice how it began switching to kind of other things. I actually had a strange kind of theme for a while where I was really irritated by how my fingers would feel when they were touching each other. This isn't something, that was as bad for me as some of the other ones, but I noticed it creeping in, this feeling. I noticed the resistance to it. I started noticing how that could very easily become an obsession in itself as well. And, fortunately at that time, I had a lot more skills and I was able to recognize it and to kind of let go of the resistance, to start bringing acceptance and compassion to it. So it didn't become a thing, but it could have done. And, very easily, it could have switched to that and become the new worst thing, that kind of sense that this is the worst one that I've ever experienced. It's so annoying. It's so infuriating. It didn't, because, I've learned the skills to kind of manage it. And, this is my opinion these days, that there is no worse type of sensorimotor OCD. Ultimately, there's no worse type of OCD. They're all the same. Some of them do have some kind of peculiarities to them that do make them a bit different. Sensorimotor OCD, the fact that it can kind of be there all the time, does make it feel a little bit more complicated and a little harder. But ultimately, OCD is always about uncertainty, about anxiety, about trying to push certain things away. about not kind of letting go of control. And when we can learn to do these things, well, there's no coincidences. We begin to feel better because we let go of that control. We stop demanding, that we have to get rid of that awareness, to kind of feel better. So if you're finding yourself really getting caught up in this idea that your particular obsession is the worst one, well, I've been there too, and I really understand that. It's very frustrating when you're really stuck with one particular obsession and you feel like it's ruining everything, and it's incredibly hard to deal with. But the reality is that it could switch to something else, and then that would feel like the worst possible one too. The important thing is to learn how to deal with sensorimotor OCD in the long term by picking up the skills that actually do help you to manage it. As I was talking about earlier, learning to bring more acceptance, compassion, awareness to these things can help you to let go of them. So many thanks, guys. I really hope that you found that helpful. Remember, if you're interested in doing one of my programs, you can head over to my website and book in for a free discovery call. Just head over to robertjamescoaching.com. Many thanks, and I will see you next time. This video is for education only. It's not therapy or medical advice. If you're struggling, please speak with a licensed mental health professional.